Like, dude, what is going on? How are they able to continuously add on top of signing these juggernauts, dude? And is anybody going to be able to beat the Dodgers?
Artiaga drives one to center. Miller hustling over. Diving catch by Ian Miller. A great catch.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Nine Hole Podcast. This is your host, Ian Miller. As of late, I've been, fortunate to have coaches, players on. That theme is going to continue moving forward. I'm excited I'm going to be talking to the Wake Forest coach, the pitching coach tomorrow, number one team in the nation, talking to Corey Muscara. And man, today I am fortunate. I am joined by somebody a little different. So they are big in the baseball media space. This is a baseball influencer. You may know him better as JS9 Innings, but man, Josh Schiffman, what is going on, brother? How you doing? It's a pleasure to have you on here.
Thank you so much for having me on, Ian. It's a pleasure to be on here. It's a pleasure to talk to a former players I looked up to growing up when I was younger. It's awesome being able to talk with you and other players as well. But I really appreciate this. This is awesome.
Yeah, dude. No, it's awesome to have you. So your content is dope. So obviously, like I am providing information to the next generation of baseball players, whether that be through relating my story, my messages, my experience, whether it's educational moments, talking points, teaching points, whatever it is. The way you go about your business is a little bit different. So, man, I'd love to just dive in a little bit on what you do, your story, your background, man. I'd love to just hit on a couple questions, dude. So as of right now, you are in college, right? So you are a student at Quinnipiac University. Am I right?
That is correct. I am a sophomore at Quinnipiac University.
That's incredible. So you started this page, JS9 Innings. Man, like how many years ago? What was the story behind that? Now it's, dude, you're at 750,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, so it's a really crazy story. So I started JS9 Innings on November 18th, 2019. It started, I was on Xbox one night with one of my best friends named Ian.
What were you playing?
We were playing Rocket League.
Dope.
But it's funny. So we were talking about how the season was over. It was like maybe a week or two after the season ended, right after the Nationals beat the Astros, and we were just talking about like how it's gonna suck, how there's no baseball and all that. And my friend Ian asked me, he's like, "Well, you should try to do something like within the game of baseball, whatever it is." Because for me, I've always said I've wanted to be a part of the game in some way. I knew I would never be a player, never be good enough to be a MLB player, but I saw that was around the time John Boy Media really
Yeah.
started to grow, and I love John Boy Media. I love their breakdowns, and I think that really inspired me to start my own thing when I was in 10th grade, and my name is Josh Schiffman, so that's where the JS part comes into place. So then JS9 Innings, that's how I got my name. I put up my first ever post. It was about like Chris Davis and his like strikeout record, like the not the strikeout record, the hit record, the no hits record or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
63. But that was my first post, and the rest is history.
It's incredible, dude. So now you're here. You're obviously posting about breaking news, stories, free agent signings. Anything that is really hitting the main screens throughout the day in the baseball world. Some of that I wanted to talk to you about here today, man. So obviously there's been a plethora of news around the leagues. News around the leagues, news around the league, right? Signings, free agents remaining, dude. Um, Bunch of stuff going on, dude. So obviously, like last night, they had the Hall of Fame inductee vote stuff, right? So that came out, dude. Uh, Beltre, Helton, Mauer. So it's the Hall is better now, right? In my opinion, now that these three guys are in there. What do you got on it, man? And kind of what do you got on like Sheffield being let out?
Yeah, so let's start with the guys who got in. For me, Beltre, one of my favorite players of all time, My dad grew up a Dodgers fan, and I want to give a little background here. So my dad read a book about Sandy Koufax when he was 6 years old, and that's how he became a Dodgers fan. So me growing up, there was always Dodgers baseball, normal baseball, whatever team is on, but it was usually Dodgers growing up for me. So I grew up a Dodgers fan, and my dad always talked about Adrian Beltre. He was awesome. So I'm super happy Beltre got in. Terrific player. Just he has 3,000 hits, just under 500 home runs, but terrific
It's
player,
insane.
deserves to be in the Hall. I'm a little bummed out that he only got 95%. I think he could have been close to unanimous. I think at least 97, 98% for Adrian Beltre is reasonable. I would definitely vote for him. But Joe Mauer, I'm super happy he's in as well. When I posted about who got into the Hall of Fame, a lot of the comments on my post were saying Joe Mauer doesn't deserve it. Joe Mauer is
Ooh,
one of the best hitting catchers of all time. He is incredible. His peak with the Twins, unbelievable. What a player. He's awesome. He absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for sure.
absolutely, absolutely. Did you think, man? What was the take on Sheffield being left out, not getting in? So he's no longer going to be eligible, right? So like I played Major League Baseball. Yeah, I was a baseball player for played for almost a decade in professional baseball. I still don't know all the rules, dude. I still don't know all the rules. So like now Sheffield's no longer going to be able to be voted in moving forward.
Yeah, so Sheffield, he's off the ballot. That was his 10th and final year, so he's off,
Gotcha.
um, which is a shame. I personally would have voted for Gary Sheffield. People say he took steroids. He never tested positive for
Mm,
steroids. Um,
mm.
so that's another thing. Another thing is there was a report. I just want to make sure I'm getting this correctly. New York Times reported this in 2009. That David Ortiz never tested positive for any banned substances after MLB implemented their formal program in 2004. However, he was reportedly one of 104 players who turned in a positive sample when the league did a confidential survey
Ooh.
testing of players as it attempted to understand how steroids would impact the game and all that. So I would vote for David Ortiz, and I'm super happy. I'm fine with him being in the Hall of Fame, no problem whatsoever. But if that is true about David Ortiz, I'm not saying if it's true or not. If it is, why is Gary Sheffield not in the Hall of Fame? He never tested positive,
Dude, I
and
know.
same goes with all the other steroid guys as well. For example, I don't care that McGuire and Sosa took steroids. I don't care. They saved the game of baseball right after the strike in '94. They saved the game of baseball. They should be in the Hall of Fame no matter what, just because of how they saved our beautiful game. Our game would not be the
Love that.
same without them.
Love that. I love that. Dude, it's crazy how if your name gets tied to the steroid stuff in any way, dude, the waters are just like tainted. You know what I mean? Like it's dude,
Yeah.
it just you put a little drop of food coloring in a glass of water, it turns the whole thing fucking red. You know what I mean? Like that's how it is. I get what you're saying, dude. That's crazy.
And
Um,
also, I just want to point out, I have no problem with David Ortiz. Just giving an example on why I believe Sheffield should be in. No disrespect to David Ortiz. I actually love the guy. I think he's awesome.
For sure. Yeah. It's just man, like I said, it is crazy with that any type of steroid talk. You get tied to it, man. I still don't even know the facts of everybody that's out there, right? Obviously like there's different things that come out. It's wild. Some things that stood out to me when I was reading about these guys, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Next year, 2025, CC Sabathia, Ichiro Suzuki, they're going to be eligible for the first time. Some other guys that are going to be eligible: Curtis Granderson, Felix Hernandez, Ian Kinsler, Dustin Pedroia, Hanley Ramirez, Troy Tulowitzki, and Ben Zobrist. So, Josh, if you had to pick, anyone maybe from that list, like who do you say gets in there?
Well, I think Ichiro is a no doubter. CC will get in because he has 3,000 strikeouts. People will say his ERA is a little high. I believe his ERA is like 3.74. 3,000 strikeouts will get you into the Hall of Fame.
I love that.
Unfortunately, I don't. I love Felix Hernandez. I personally don't think he'll get in.
Okay.
Ian Kinsler only had around 2,000 hits, but his prime with the Rangers and early Detroit, great player.
It was hot.
And
I don't think
and
he gets in. I don't think he gets in.
I don't think he will either. Troy Tulowitzki, I think he does. His defense alone, I mean, he he was really the first shortstop in a while, I'd say, who in the like recently, I would say, who really, like, obviously defensively amazing, but
Yeah,
offensively was insane. And I'm a Dodgers fan. Tulo was one of my favorite players. My dad and I loved him. I would always name my fantasy team when I was like 9 or 10 after Tulowitzki. It'd be like Tulo Jit to quit. I love Tulo, but
I like
I
that.
love Tulo. But
He was a monster, dude. He was a monster. It would be cool to see him get in. I feel like he battled injuries a lot, right? Guy was a
yeah,
fucking monster, dude.
he was amazing. And I feel like defense goes super unnoticed in our game. Like same thing with Andrelton Simmons. I don't think Andrelton Simmons gets in at all, but and he obviously just
Yeah,
retired. But I think his defense should be honored in some way because he was just a wizard. He was such a wizard out there with the glove. Incredible.
for sure, dude. For sure. Okay. There were some other signings going on, dude. So the Nationals, they signed Joey Gallo, 1 year deal. Brewers and Reese Hoskins. So that was pretty big. Dude, for me, I grew up. My wife's gonna kill me. She hates it when I say this. I grew up in Philly. So like, I'm not gonna say I know everything about the Philadelphia Phillies, but it was crazy to see. I heard a whole bunch of stuff saying that Reese Hoskins was tied to the Cubs. I think now that this happened with Reese, this might open up for me. I think Cody Bellinger going back to the Cubs. I think that I think that's a no brainer there. I heard somebody else talking about it. I kind of thought about it. I'm like, dude, that makes sense. What do you got on any of that with the Joey Gallo, Reese Hoskins signing?
Yeah, so let's start with Gallo here first. I think it's a good deal for both sides. Not expensive, 5 million, whatever. Thing with Gallo is strikeout. The strikeout rate is very high. He strikes out a lot. But he's a home run hitter. If he can learn to hit the ball to the left side, you'll look at some really good progress from here. I hope Joey Gallo can return to what he was in 18, 19 before he was traded to New York. I think he really lost some confidence there as the fans did not treat him well there. And you can understand from a fan perspective because they want a good product on the field. Unfortunately, that didn't work out there, and he got a different shot at LA and then Minnesota afterwards. But I hope he can bounce back in Washington. I think that's a really good move for him and the Nationals.
Big
We
time,
saw
dude.
it with Jamie Candelario as well. He had a really good bounce back year, and now got a really big contract with the Reds.
Love it. Reese Hoskins, 2 year deal, man. He's going to be playing in a dome, right? You're playing indoors. Dude, Philly's tough with the weather. Philly's tough with the fans. Maybe it's a little different atmosphere. I'm expecting a big season or two out of Reese, man. That would be kind of cool. I saw Angels boosted their bullpen. Got Stevenson, Paxton to the Dodgers, dude. So the Dodgers, man, like, dude, what is going on? How are they able to continuously add on top of signing these juggernauts, dude? And is anybody going to be able to beat the Dodgers?
Yeah, so Paxton here, the crazy signing. I'm a little surprised. It was I think it was around 12 million or 11 million for 1 year, but the Dodgers desperately needed a lefty. Kershaw's a free agent. They don't know if he's going to return. That's another thing we could talk about later. But
Ooh,
but yeah, if I mean they've got a really good rotation. Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May, and Shohei Otani. I don't think, or Dustin May come back at the end of the
yeah.
year,
What's going on with
but
him? TJ, right?
I think it was like a flexor, something elbow,
Ooh,
but it
stinks.
wasn't good. But they'll most likely be out. But they've been able to build a very strong rotation. There are a few question marks though. Like obviously Yamamoto, 325 million. Will he be good? Time will tell. But I
Dude,
mean, what you saw in Japan, he should be a star. I think Glasnow, out of any pitcher, he's got A+ stuff. It depends if he could stay on the field or not. Because in the last 3 years, 4 years, uh he's had a lot of trouble with staying on the field.
yeah,
He's
dude.
had a lot
So
of injuries.
over $1 billion for Glass now. Yamamoto, Shohei
Otani,
Otani, dude.
yeah,
It's going to be absolutely. I can't, even getting, back end like veteran help from Paxton. It's like, dude, how you going to cough up a couple mil? Like, how do you have that in the war chest, dude? Obviously, the deferred money,
yeah.
right, from Otani sets all of this up, right?
And
Makes it all possible.
And then another thing with Clayton Kershaw, my all-time favorite player. My dad grew up, or my dad loved Sandy Koufax. So the resemblance between those two, that's why Kershaw's my favorite player. And all I've known is Kershaw being a Dodger my whole life. And once he's gone, my childhood is officially over. So I'm just hoping he comes back one more year. I love him. Um, a lot of Dodgers fans hate on him, just call him chokers. I mean, I understand the frustration, but I was talking with Alana Rizzo, who's on MLB Network. She said she would always defend Clayton Kershaw with everything.
Really?
Uh, yes,
Why?
big. She was the Dodgers sideline reporter.
Oh, okay, got you.
She used to be on Sportsnet LA. Um, I think her last year was after they won the World Series in 2020. But she's now on High Heat with Chris Russo.
Oh, that's big time, dude. That's
Yeah,
awesome. It's cool to hear that those guys are like top notch people too. You know what I mean? It's not. It's
yeah,
like the fame doesn't get to their head, dude. I think that's the coolest stuff. And that's like a great message to hopefully that resonates. With the younger crowd, the younger audience, dude. So I saw something. The Pirates are making a little splash, dude, with Aroldis Chapman. So, dude, he like over 10 mil. It kind of seems like the Pirates are especially with dude. I had him written down here, dude. So we'll touch on our opinions and what we got with the hot takes later. But I'll touch on the Pirates later.
yeah.
What do I got? Okay, here, dude. So okay, no, I'm gonna spoil it, dude. I got the Pirates for the comeback slash breakout team uh of 2024. Right, we're in 2024, dude. So Paul Skeens, I think he's going to be up there, right? Paul Skeens, the number one pick. Marco Gonzalez, right? They got Bednar, like O'Neill Cruz, Aroldis Chapman. So they're making a little splash, dude. What do you got going there, dude? What do you got with Chapman signing with the Pirates for over 10?
Yeah, so I think we'll definitely see a better Pirates team than we've seen in the last decade. Really, the last good year was 2015, and then you could put 2018 there, where they bought or where they traded for Chris Archer. Really awful trade because they gave up Glass now and Austin Meadows. But I think we'll definitely see a better Pirates team. What I think they'll do with Chapman, though, I think will be a trade piece.
Mm,
What it's similar to what the Royals did with him last year. Um, they got I think 2 or 3 prospects from the Rangers for Chapman. It worked out because they won the World Series. But if Chapman can stay healthy, if he can keep his velocity, which he was able to do last year after a down 2022 year, they could be looking at a very good trade for him in July.
for sure. Dude. I don't necessarily think the Pirates are going to be postseason juggernauts winning titles or World Series, but they could be playing good games after the All Star break. They could be playing meaningful games towards the end of the season, maybe in September. Who knows what that looks like, man? That was pretty cool. I was seeing some stuff. Obviously, Josh Hader is now with the Astros, dude. So I was seeing something about him having Houston roots. Him excited to be there. Like, how is everything going to stack up, dude? With the Astros, the Rangers, and then, dude, not too far away. You got the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, that AL West is crazy. The Rangers, the Astros, The Mariners.
Mariners, dude. I'm forgetting about the Mariners. So the Mariners could be players too.
Mariners are my second favorite team.
Really?
I
Who's
I love
who's your guy on that? Who are your guys on that team?
I love Julio, and also when I always love Mitch Haniger. I love that they have him back now.
That
But
fires me up, dude. That fires
the
me up.
the Mariners the Mariners announcer Dave Sims, he follows me on Instagram.
Does he?
Huge fan of him. Yeah, I love him. He's
Okay.
awesome.
Okay.
I've DM'd with him a few times before, but he's awesome. And before Jared Kelenic was traded in the 2021 season, they missed out on the playoffs by like a game or two, but it was really the first time the Mariners had like a really good shot at making the playoffs. The crowd was into it, but Jared Kelenic, after a win, he held up a sign and it said "Believe" on it. It was so cool, and I loved the motto they were going with, like "Believe." We're gonna get there. Unfortunately, they didn't get to the playoffs in 2021, but they got there in 2022, where they beat the Blue Jays in the
Mm,
wild card. Then they got swept by the Astros, but they put up honestly like they put up a really good performance. They lost in game 1 to a walk-off home run. They obviously didn't win game 2, but then game 3, I think it went to like 18 innings or maybe more. It was something ridiculously long, but I mean, it was a really good moment for a fan base that needed postseason action for
for
a
sure.
while.
For sure, dude. They've been I actually just had on. I haven't even it's not even out yet. It's going to be coming out in a couple days. Carson Vitale, the major league field coordinator for the Mariners, man. So we were talking about that. We touched on Haniger, Julio, those guys, and that diverse, locker room, that diverse culture. So it's like they have dudes in that locker room like Julio Rodriguez, who are obviously superstars, changing the game, right? Rookie of the year, all stars, all this stuff, and knew that he was destined for greatness at a young age. You could tell he's a physical specimen, right? Coming up, he's playing it. I don't even remember what age I was in the locker room with. Like he was 17, 18, something, like he was super young. And you're looking at this dude, you're like, yeah, that guy's nasty. He's going to be great, right? And then, they have dudes like Justin Topa in that locker room who he was out of baseball, and he was from a small Northeast school, and man, he was out of baseball, and he's throwing up his like videos on Twitter and stuff, and his blast, all of his data, and dude, he ended up getting signed, and he's like closing games for the Mariners and stuff, pitching, and just throwing
Awesome.
buzz out of the bullpen. It's awesome. It's going to be crazy to see how the AL West pans out, dude. Is anybody beating the Dodgers, do you think? Not to get off track again, but like, is anybody going to be able to take down the Dodgers or make it competitive?
Well, I'd like to say no, but as a Dodgers fan, we've had some really, really traumatizing moments, I should say, especially with Kershaw. I defend Kershaw, but it was like when he let up 5 or 6 runs in the first inning. It was very hard to watch. It was one of the worst games I had to watch. I felt so bad for Kershaw, but with the team they have now, I think they are the team to beat. They should be the favorites right now. When it gets to October, I mean, I think you'll have the Braves, the Phillies, the Diamondbacks are definitely improved. Don't count them out. Nobody counted them in when they had to face the Dodgers and they ended up sweeping them. So I think we're in for a really good matchup here. I'm trying to think of other teams as well, but Braves, Phillies, Diamondbacks. Uh, I think the Reds will definitely be improved. Who knows if they take the next step or not,
Yeah,
depending on
yeah.
what the Cubs do as well. If they can sign Bellinger, I know they lost Stroman, but we'll see what they
Mm,
can do. They also got Imanaga,
that's right, dude.
but
They're in this like weird in between where it was like they were rebuilding and shit, and now it's like they're they're getting dudes, and I'm not sure if they're making a huge push. You can kind of tell by the signings that they might not necessarily be right now, but you never know, dude. They could be competitive. Somebody could step up. Some rookies could step up, which kind of leads maybe into. You were going to say something. My bad. I'm rolling into the next.
I was also going to say the Mets, and that may come
The
as a
Mets.
shocker. That may come as a shocker. They're getting a lot of hate. I wouldn't be surprised if they sniffed out 90 wins.
The Mets.
The Mets, yes. A lot of the pressure is off of them. Verlander's gone. Scherzer is gone. All the pressure is gone. Uh, I believe they need to extend Alonso, sign him up. He's like he wants to be a Met. Like you got to sign him. But I mean, Lindor is awesome. They've got pieces like Marte, who's injured. McNeil wasn't the best last year, but those guys will rebound for sure. You got a lot of guys in those lineup who can definitely rebound. Their pitching staff is very questionable. Don't get me wrong, but they traded for Adrian Hauser from the Brewers. He showed a lot of potential. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy at the end of the year is a 2 or 3 starter. I think he's that good and has a lot of potential.
Damn, dude. The Mets, man. Where do you have any of the remaining free agents going, dude? So like big name dudes, Cody Bellinger, Jock Peterson, Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, dudes like that. Are there any immediate teams or needs that you would say like, hey, dude, I see him there for sure?
Yeah, so with Bellinger, um, I I think he'll either go back to the Cubs or it will be Toronto. And I say
Ooh,
Toronto because they need a lefty very badly. They missed out on Otani.
that's right.
And uh, I mean,
I got Bellinger
this
going.
makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense.
Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude. Toronto could be cool. Toronto could be cool. I could see him there, dude. I got him. I think it just makes sense maybe for him to go back to the Cubs. Who do you got on like Snell?
I think the best option is probably the Yankees. I'd also say the Mariners because he's from Seattle, and I think the Mariners could probably spend some cash. They probably won't, but I think Seattle could be a good option. I say New York though because I think they need another starter in there. But
Mm.
apparently Snell was offered 30 years for 5 years, so 150 million.
Oh, you mean 30 million for 5 years?
I'm
Got
sorry,
it.
yeah, 30,
Got you.
30. Yes, I'm sorry, yes,
The
but
150, dude.
the 150, yes, but a lot of question marks. He's asking for a lot. I mean, he does have 2 Cy Youngs. He can be a little questionable some years, but the 2 Cy Youngs is especially coming after what he did last year. Someone could pay him, and we'll see. But I think the Yankees should sign him.
The Yankees would be cool, man. That would be crazy. Okay. So we got opinion time, dude. Maybe some takes, maybe some ideas that you think, dude. What do you think about rookie of the year stuff? So obviously, like Jackson Holiday, there's a whole bunch of buzz going on around him. There's other guys coming up. First baseman, I don't even know how to say his name. Nolan Schnell. I don't even know how to say it. First baseman, right?
Yeah.
He bangs. There's a couple of other guys, right? Yamamoto, he's in the running. Personally, dude, I don't know. Yamamoto's going to pan out, right? He's nasty. I think he might. I think he may struggle a little bit this year. Maybe at the start, it's a whole different culture shock. I think there's going to be a whole lot of different buzz. Maybe some type of media attention that he's not used to. That could be overwhelming. I've experienced that. Not even like attention on me, but just like in the locker room. I'm like, oh shit, dude. It's a whole bunch of different eyes here and reporters and stuff. That attention, maybe that plays into it. I think maybe he doesn't, start out as hot, dude. So I had Jackson Holiday, dude, and I think Pete Crow Armstrong from the Cubs, dude. So that's going to be my pick. Obviously, Pete Crow Armstrong. What he came over, was it from the Mets? I want to
Yes, he was in the
say,
Javi
dude.
Baez trade.
Okay, so dude, he like an elite defensive center fielder, like the type of player that I honestly wish I could have been like. Like he kind of reminds me of a Brett Gardner type, but absolutely electric. Not saying Brett wasn't, but I got him kind of, doing the rookie of the year, man. What do you got?
Yeah, so I'm gonna agree with you on Jackson Holiday. For myself, I wasn't able to decide for the NL. I did
Okay,
have Armstrong in there.
really?
Yes, I think he's gonna be great. He's that trade they got the Cubs got for Javier Baez in his last 2 months. Amazing, great
Yeah.
trade. Um, I also have the guy on the Brewers, Jackson Churio. I think I pronounced that right. I apologize to Jackson if that's wrong, but
Okay.
I think they actually just gave him a contract. It was like 8 years for I think around 70, 80 million or something like that. But I think he has a lot of potential. I think he's the number 2 prospect right now.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to go with Yamamoto and Lee on the Giants.
Okay. Oh yeah, the Korean signing.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think Yamamoto struggles at all, or do you think he just picks up right where he left off?
Um, I wouldn't be surprised if he struggled because the baseball in Japan is, I believe, is smaller than the one in MLB, so that may be a little hard to adjust to. But also, he was in the World Baseball Classic with Japan, and he had to use that same ball. So
Mm.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if there was a struggle, but I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I like that right there, man. How about what about Cy Young, dude? Do you see anybody really stepping up? So for me, dude, I had Alec Manoah. So I had Alec Manoah, right? Toronto kind of had a tough year this past year, like an ERA almost 6. Yeah, 5.87, dude. He was hurt. 87 innings pitched, dude. He's a stud. He's young, dude. I'm looking for him. I don't necessarily think the Blue Jays are going to be that good.
That's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
That's a
I
hot
think
take.
I think Alex gonna bounce back here, dude. That's who I got.
I I hope he bounces back too. I mean, it was unfortunate last year. I drafted him in fantasy last year. Didn't pan out. But I hope he can come back. So for the AL, I have Garrett Cole. This guy is
Okay.
just
Yeah.
I think that's the safest pick, but really give him the ball. He'll perform every time he pitches. He's just that good. He's just consistently good. He's amazing. I love watching him pitch. I had the pleasure of watching him in August. I went to a Yankee game. Awesome.
Mm.
Incredible pitcher. And then for my NL Cy Young, this may come as a little shocker, and this is one of my hot takes. I'm going Kodai Senga on the
Ooh,
Mets.
really?
Yes. So last year, his ERA was just below 3, and he had over 200 strikeouts and I think around 165 innings or something close to that. He, I believe, is going to take off. His ghost forkball, so nasty, and I think he takes it to the next level. And I saw him pitch against the Dodgers at Citi Field in July.
Really?
He let up like 1 run in 6 or 7 innings. He was incredible.
I
I
love
think he
that.
takes it to the next level.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, NL, man, I left out. Justin Steele is who I got. Cubs, man, lefty, absolutely nasty. Got to spend some time with him at like the alternate site in 2020, so I got to see like how he works, how he goes about his business. Guy's a fucking workhorse. So I'm looking for him to bring home the Cy Young, dude. World Series. Who do you got? I got the Phillies. I got the Phillies. I'm going with the Phillies, man. Obviously, like the Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, man. They got some pitching studs, man. I'm looking for a big year.
Um, with if I'm looking at paper with names, I'm gonna say the Dodgers. As a Dodgers fan, I've seen a lot of bad moments, so I hope they can overcome that and make it to the World Series. I'm gonna say the Dodgers, but I would not be surprised if the Phillies also made it.
Okay, dude, man, that's hot. That's hot. What about a comeback or breakout season, dude? So I mentioned the Pirates. I think the Pirates. I think the Pirates are going to be, not World Series contenders, dude. But I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. Um, Obviously, the bullpen's going to be nasty. Skeens, Marco Gonzalez, O'Neill Cruz is obviously a freak, dude. But I got, like I said, Alec Manoah, Toronto for the comeback breakout, dude. I got Tyler O'Neill, Boston Red Sox, right?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Coming over from St. Louis. So, dude, kind of a down year last year. He was hurt. Dude, I got him hitting 30 home runs at Fenway. I got him hitting 30 home runs at Fenway, dude.
I
So I'm
like
looking for a huge year from Tyler. T.O.
I like that. Um, I'm gonna go Gavin Lux.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he was great in 2022, and then unfortunately he got injured. The horrific knee injury in spring training, awful because he said in a interview uh, when he was on crutches right after it happened, like he was crying. He's like, I just wanted to be the shortstop for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, it
And
sucked.
he knew how much it meant to him just to play that position because he was in the outfield, he was playing second base. Like it meant so much to him, and he finally got that opportunity, and he got injured. So I'm super excited to see him get back on the field, and I think he's gonna rake. He's more of a line drive hitter. He has a lot of he doesn't he has some pop, but he's more of like a doubles guy. He'll hit some triples. He's like an on base guy. So I'm really looking forward to see him come back and show everyone what he's made of. I think he's going to be great. And I'll give you another one as well. Michael Bush, the guy the Cubs got recently. He was a
Michael
Dodgers top
Bush.
prospect. He's 26 years old. He never got the shot with the Dodgers because they just have too many players. But
Yeah,
he's like a top 40 or he might be a little higher, but he's in the top 100 prospects. He never really got his opportunity with the Dodgers, and the Cubs really got him for nothing.
that's big,
I
dude.
wouldn't be surprised if this guy hits 25 plus home runs.
That's big.
You heard it here first.
That's big there, dude. What do you got on so the last one I got here is the MVP predictions, and I was looking at it. I was trying to kind of map it out, and it was wild for me to put this down, dude, because like you could have had this maybe years ago, right? Depending on how you looked at it. I got Mike Trout in the AL, and I got Bryce Harper in the NL, dude. So like, kind of throwbacks, right? They've kind of been in the mix, however you want to look at it. In years past, dude. I think Shohei kind of moving away. You know, out not moving away, but out of the locker room, right? Kind of brings the spotlight back on Mike Trout. I think Mike Trout's going to absolutely ball out, especially if he's healthy. Fingers crossed. Right, kind of made a glass. That's unfortunate. Is what it is. Right, never really made the big league. Sorry, made the playoffs either. That sucks. I don't know if they necessarily do this year, but I'm looking for Mike Trout to have another big year. And dude, Bryce Harper, right? I think the Phillies are gonna. I think the Phillies have a chance to win the World Series. That's my pick, dude. I think they're gonna ride Bryce Harper's back, dude. So what do you got? What do you got on the MVPs, man? What do you think?
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot you can choose from. I'm gonna go with Juan Soto.
Ooh,
So I call him the walk king. He's a great eye. His strikeouts were a little high last year. That's a little uncommon from him. But I think the short porch with the short porch, excuse me, he's gonna be phenomenal. He's gonna hit so many home runs.
he's not gonna try to just go for it. You think it that short porch plays on his mind a little bit?
I don't think so. Juan Soto, he's I think him or I think he's or I think Juan Soto is one of the most disciplined hitters in the game right now. He's a great eye. He always walks. I mean, he works every at bat to 3-2. And he'll take a lot of pitches. So he's very patient and he's very selective with his craft. So I think he'll wait for his pitch for sure. So I think he'll definitely be able to get on base. His OPS will definitely be above 900, and for sure he's done it. He's had a OPS over 940 for I think, or at least over 900 for the past few years, and his career OPS is like 940 or 946, I believe.
It's wild.
But I think he's gonna win it. I think he's gonna win it for the first time in his career for sure.
It's big time. That's big time. So that's all I got. That's all I got here, Josh. Man, is there anything else you want to throw in? Anything else you want to add? You want to touch on?
Yeah. Can I add my NL MVP?
Yeah. Oh, my bad, dude. Cut you out.
So this is one of my other hot takes. So I feel like this guy doesn't get a lot of talk. He doesn't get a lot of credit because he's overshadowed by guys in the MVP voting like Acuna, Olsen, Betts, Friedman, Harper, many other names in the NL. But those were just for example. I'm going to go with Austin Riley.
Ooh.
Dude is a monster, and he never gets the credit he deserves. He's going to break out even more in 2024, and he's going to win the National League MVP. And if he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in the top 5.
Ooh. That's hot right there, dude. That's hot. Okay.
Yes.
Man, that's big right there. That makes a ton of sense. So it's going to be, I'm excited to see kind of how it plays out, dude. A lot of big baseball coming our way here in like a month or so. Spring training starts, right?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Best time of the year in about 2 or 3 weeks. I'm super excited for the season. It's hard when there's no baseball on. I love football, but my Dolphins are atrocious.
Dude,
So hard. It's so hard to watch.
I get it. Yeah, with the Eagles being out, dude. I get it. I get it, man.
I'm also a Nets fan, so like it's
stinks.
the stretch they're on right now, and the loss they had yesterday to the Knicks was heartbreaking. I was watching it with my roommate last night, and he's a Knicks fan, so
Okay.
that wasn't fun. But yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
All good, man. Well, Josh, dude, thank you for coming on the show today, man. Talking a little bit about your story, touching on some of the headlines that we got around the league, dude. Getting some takes, getting some opinions, getting some thoughts on some things, dude. Josh Schiffman from the JS9 Innings brand. We're excited to have you on here again, man. Here at the Nine Hole Podcast. Thank you for joining me today, dude. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me on, Ian. It's a pleasure. I'm super happy to do this again, and I'm just super happy you reached out to me, and we've been able to create a really good friendship. So I'm really thankful for you, man. Thank you.
Love that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will catch you guys here next time.